Western Conference is as competitive as ever, and so far the Denver Nuggets are hanging on to a playoff spot. But one thing is clear to everyone, they're relying on Nikola Jokic way too much. With Jamal Murray struggling and questionable roster depth, Denver's season prospects feel shaky. Enter Vasilije Micic, Jokic's old teammate from his youth days and currently Serbian national team partner. Let me tell you why reuniting these two would benefit all sides involved. Okay, so let's address the issues that Denver has faced so far. First of all, Jamal Murray just isn't the same player this season. After being a reliable second option for years, his struggles have become impossible to overlook. Murray's scoring has dipped to around 18 points per game, down from the 21.2 he averaged last season. And it's not just the scoring, his efficiency has taken a massive hit. Last season, he shot 48% from the field, but now he's down to around 43%. What's even worse, his three-point percentage dropped from 42.5% to about 34%. This of course reflects in his true shooting percentage, now at 53%, far from the 57% he posted during Denver's championship run. So, what happened to Murray? My theory is it goes back to last year's playoffs, when a calf strain slowed him down. Murray pushed through the pain and delivered in key moments, like this game-winning performance in Game 5 against the Lakers.
We're going to overtime. Jokic a screen, Murray to try to break the tie.
But the injury clearly lingered, affecting his consistency throughout the postseason. He went from averaging 24 points and 7 assists against the Lakers to just 18 and 4 against Minnesota. Instead of fully recovering in the offseason, Murray took an opportunity that comes once every 4 years. He joined SGA and suited up for Team Canada at the Paris Olympics. A noble decision, but I think it ultimately backfired. With limited preparation and relatively rushed comeback, he averaged 6 points and 3.8 assists in 20 minutes per game. Canada struggled with him on the court, and his total plus-minus for the tournament was -23. I just remember watching the games and thinking to myself that Canada's head coach Jordi Fernandez should put Andrew Nembhard in, because this version of Murray is just that unreliable, and I think that says a lot. It seems that Murray has carried this declining form into this season, raising concerns about his ability to perform without Jokic. He's trying to find his rhythm, but his performances have been widely inconsistent. One night he might put up something close to his prime numbers, but the next he's shooting under 30% from the field. And I mean, the trade rumors, they aren't surprising, but let's be real, Murray's value isn't what it used to be. Teams aren't likely to offer big assets for a player with inconsistent performances, lingering injuries, and a max contract running until 2029. That leaves Denver in a tough spot, hoping this is just a rough patch rather than a sign of long-term decline. While that's one of the most noticeable issues, Murray isn't the only problem. Denver's roster as a whole is starting to show cracks. The team that once seemed perfectly built around Jokic is now looking dangerously thin, and it's becoming clear that the offseason moves didn't do enough to address the team's needs. Before I continue, be cool and hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate that a lot. Now back to the video. Losing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in the free agency was the first blow. KCP's perimeter defense and timely shooting were critical during their championship run, and his absence is felt on both ends of the floor. Then there's Darren Holmes II, a promising backup big whose season was cut early due to an injury. Losing him has left Denver's front court painfully shallow, forcing Jokic to play even heavier minutes. And while Russell Westbrook might have seemed like a decent gamble to add help from the bench, the experiment hasn't really paid off. His 39% shooting and clunky fit with Denver's slower, methodical offense have been more of a liability than a solution. But the real issue here isn't who's missing or who's underperforming, it's the overall construction of the roster. Depth has become a glaring weakness, particularly when Jokic isn't on the court. Bench scoring is near the bottom of the league, and there's no reliable spark plug to stabilize the second unit. With limited trade assets and a maxed out payroll, they can't just swing for the fences. Instead, they'll need to get creative, possibly looking for underappreciated talents, players who can fill roles even if they're not marquee names. All of this brings us to a name that I mentioned before, Vasilije Micic. The Nuggets don't need a superstar, they need someone smart, steady, and capable of fitting seamlessly into Jokic's system. And Micic could just be the answer they are looking for. Thing is, he isn't your typical NBA player. At nearly 30 years old, he's already had a legendary career in Europe, dominating the EuroLeague with 2 titles, an MVP award, and a Finals MVP honors. But his NBA journey has been far from smooth. He started his NBA career just last year at Oklahoma City, a team stacked with young talent where understandably he couldn't find meaningful minutes. And I get it, it's extremely unlikely for a guard coming from the overseas at 29 years old to expect some significant minutes. That's just not how the NBA works, and many EuroLeague stars such as Miloš Teodosic, Vasilis Spanoulis, or Šarūnas Jasikevičius have faced similar difficulties. Anyways, coming back to Micic, he got traded to Charlotte just before the 2024 All-Star break. So far, he has shown flashes of brilliance as a Hornet despite limited opportunities. He had a strong 18-point showing in his debut for Charlotte last season and finished that season with 11 points and 6 assist averages. Then this season started quite slowly as he wasn't getting many opportunities before LaMelo's injury. 14 minutes a game, almost 4 points, and just over 1.5 assists per game. However, over the past 8 games, stepping in while LaMelo has been out, Micic's averages have gone up quite a bit. Definitely not groundbreaking, but his shooting from deep has also gone from under 25% to over 40%. And here, I think I need to give you some of my European knowledge and expand on what kind of a player Vasa is, because these numbers don't really say much. First of all, he's a team-first kind of a guy. That is especially true now when he's playing in the NBA, and talent-wise, he's clearly not the #1 option as he was in Europe. It's something that Micic actually told me personally when I had the opportunity to interview him this past summer.
Did you feel like it took some time for you to earn respect from the NBA guys?
Even in OKC, my statistic was not closest to what I wanted or maybe people expect. I could not done anything better because those kids are so talented. But also in Charlotte, I gained more minutes and maybe a little earn, as you said, respect.
What also sets him apart is his high basketball IQ and pick and roll mastery, 2 qualities that could make him a super valuable addition to Denver's offense. And to be honest, watching Micic in Charlotte is a strange experience. It often seems like he's just not on the same page as his teammates. Micic is a Euroball playmaker who thrives in a more structured offense combined with the freedom that modern basketball demands. Teams like Charlotte aren't playing good basketball. In fact, as Kobe Bryant once described it, it often looks like accidental basketball.
These players now play accidental basketball, and it drives me and Phil crazy because it's all penetrating pitch. You may make the shot, you may not. You have no idea who's going to be open or whatever. It's accidental basketball.
On the other side of the equation, the Nuggets need someone who can organize the game, make quick reads, and take some pressure off Jokic, especially in those crucial moments when the bench is on the floor. I think Vasa Micic could bring exactly that. Chemistry-wise, there's no one who can say they have a deeper history and chemistry with the Joker than Micic.
In one sentence, how is it to play with Jokic?
So beautiful.
They were this dynamic duo back in Serbia, even reaching the cup final with an underdog team. Then there were all these years they spent together on the Serbian national team, snatching bronze medals in the latest Olympics. The thing is, making it happen doesn't sound simple. While he's not exactly a cornerstone for Charlotte's future, they might be hesitant to let him go, especially if Ball continues to struggle with injuries. For Denver, it's not just about whether Charlotte is willing, it's about what they can offer. The Nuggets' trade assets are limited. They are already tight on cap space and their draft picks aren't exactly premium. Plus, their roster lacks young players with upside that might entice a rebuilding team like Charlotte. So it's clear that Denver's front office would have to make a little bit of an effort in acquiring Vasilije Micic. On the other hand, I said making it happen doesn't sound simple, but it might as well be. Take for example the recent Dennis Schroeder trade. Golden State sent just DeAnthony Melton and 2 second-rounders for him. So something like Najee and a future second-round pick might just be enough. But I know what you might be thinking to yourself. Why would the Nuggets go through so much trouble for, in NBA terms, unproven veteran with unstable shooting? I mean, it's a fair question. Micic isn't exactly known for having the most reliable jump shot, even back in his European days. Now, in those 30 minutes he gets to play, it's not like he's averaging 20 and 10 either. And in fact, his defense and lateral quickness are probably the biggest issues in the whole picture. Well, I'll tell you why the Nuggets should try. I think the qualities of controlling the team and making smart plays off the bench are more important than all of these other concerns. For Charlotte, Micic is just someone to play out the minutes while they continue tanking. I know Denver can't offer much, but I don't actually think the Hornets would be that persistent in keeping him. Finally, as a European basketball fan, I just want to see the former EuroLeague MVP in the right situation for him. I just think his potential is definitely higher than we see right now. Plus, if we're not gonna get Luka and Jokic, then at least let us have Vasa and Nikola. I think all the Serbian NBA fans would agree too. But let me know if you agree in the comments below. Is this actually Denver's missing piece or just a wet dream for Serbian fans? And of course, like this video, subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you in the next one.